Hi, Travis Hartley with FWE, here to talk to you about our family of proofers for all of your baking and prep operations you may have. So we're going to work all the way from our basic ETC series all the way up through our precision climate IQ units and talk about the differences in between to decide which one's really right for your operation. So we'll start with the most basic system, which is our ETCs. We'll show this one here. So this one is set up for donut screens, a little bit wider. It can hold the 23 by 32 inch donut screens, but is also available in any standard pan configuration. So the ETCs are a non-insulated version. So oftentimes when you're operating at those low proofing temperatures of 90 to 110 Fahrenheit, 30 to 40 C, you don't necessarily need as much insulation to maintain that kind of head of steam that the product is working with. And then as far as your humidity controls, we're using a standard infinite switch. So you can see we do still have it marked with a proof setting so your staff know right where to set it. And that's going to give you that kind of 90% relative humidity in that temperature range we were talking about. What's great about all the FWE proofing models is we're always going to use standard hotel pans. So you're not having to ever search for some specialized pan or order a custom part. Should the staff lose it or maybe goes in the dish pit and doesn't come back, just grab a standard hotel pan, throw it right back in there. In both the ETCs and the PHUs, it's going to be a standard 2.5 inch deep hotel pan. In the PHTTs, in both versions we'll show you today, they're 4 inch deep, depending on the model. So again, the ETCs were an uninsulated version, strictly mechanical controls. If you want a little bit more control and you maybe want to have a little bit of energy savings, you can jump up to the PHU. So it's proofer, heater, universal. And so what we're saying is that this one's got some fiberglass mat insulation, help again save you with that energy, also tighten up that temperature control a little bit. This unit is standard with mechanical controls, but is also available with electronic if you want to tighten that temperature up just a little bit more. And again, like we were talking about before, standard hotel pan serving as your water bath. It has its own separate element, so you can run that independently, the heating elements, with these separate controls. This unit in the PHU-12 is set up with 12 universal slides, so that's set up for holding either just standard sheet pans or 2 hotel pans back to back per shelf position. So if you have a dough that maybe needs a little bit more control, it needs that tighter band of temperature and relative humidity, we can step in to one of our precision systems. So both of these are Climate IQ series. We have the PHTT-12 and a PHTT-CV, and I'll run through the differences between those. So these you can see, you're setting an exact temperature and exact relative humidity. So if I want 106 Fahrenheit, I can set that and set the exact humidity level I want for that particular dough. So this is particularly important for some of the sweet doughs where you have a particular band you want it to run within. So this allows you to set that and keep it. And what it's doing is every time that air is going back through the heat system again, it's measuring its temperature and its relative humidity and adapting in real time. Whereas with the previous units with those infinite switches, that's just going to cycle more and more often depending on how high you turn it up. This is adapting to the real world conditions. And if you need to take it just one more step further, we can jump into our CV control. So what CV is controlled venting. And that says that if the product itself or maybe the environment introduces more humidity than what you want, it can off-gas it through a plenum in the back and get you back down to your set point. So you make sure you keep that very, very sensitive dough in that exact band of temperature and relative humidity that you want. It also has the bonus in the touchscreen version of having timers. So if you want to run a particular dough for 14 minutes or 45 minutes, whatever it might be, this can count up or count down as well as track all the HACCP data in the background. So at the end of the day, no matter what your proofing needs are, FWE has you covered.